The rookie making a little bit of a rookie mistake. Third down. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
The screen gets 7, but it's not enough, and it'll be 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. Do you like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Lions will take over. And Detroit getting set to go now. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were competent enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup. On first down at Stafford. Over the middle, complete to Tate. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Set, lady, set.
Now blown. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Set, lady.
A shotgun snap for Stafford. Wilson snags it left side. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up 4th down. Now the old pass completion for no gain, not something you want to call up out of the playbook too often.
Yeah, most offensive coordinators don't have that on their play sheet, so they've got to go back and scramble after this one. But right now, with what they're telling receivers about making sure you take care of the ball in open field, sometimes the fighting for extra yardage doesn't come as a result. That and good tackling could lead to no yards gained.
Aaron Rodgers, he's getting ready to go again here on offense. They've been faced with a tough test today here. Crowd's been really good. They're struggling. He's struggling. We'll see if they can pick things up.
And the crowd has had an impact, and they feel good about that because he's not playing very well. Not getting the ball to the right places, not doing things he normally does. He's got to find a way to turn it around against this hostile group.
Yeah, because on the road, don't you look to your quarterback a lot?
You have to, because you certainly can't look to the crowd to help you. They're there to be against you, so your quarterback has to lead you. And the best way he can do it is to play well.
On second down, here's Rodgers. The left side throw complete to Adams. And able to get it across the 10 to the 15. They were looking for a cushion from that end zone. He gave it to him. 15 big yards.
Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back to what you know can work and finally getting it done.
2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Ford Field after this. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Now Rodgers. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard.
319.
Throwing is Rodgers on third down. And he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively. But instead it just brings up fourth down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Now LeGarrette Blount gets set to go again on offense. Now, the good news, his team's winning. The bad news, he hasn't had the game that he's hoped to, at least to this point here in the second quarter.
And a lot of that is pride, because these types of backs want to be in the center of all the action and leading their team to victory. They'll take the win right now, hoping to jump his game up as this one moves on.
And he probably wants a little bit more of the spotlight going forward. On first down, Stafford here. Now the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game, watching this offensive line, because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16.
You ready? Lady!
Out of the gun, Stafford. And the hit jarred loose. It's incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? It creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
The Lions on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 16.
Hey, tag 50 left. Set. Blue 60.
Now a carry for Blount. And he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. And now a timeout coming from the defensive side for the Packers. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. Here's Sam Martin now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Here's Jackson. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. Marching back onto the field now, Devontae Adams and company getting set to go. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? Second quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving.
Trying to get it to Adams, but it's intercepted. Picked off at the 35, and he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line. It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds. Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10.
You ready? Lady!
2nd and 10, Stafford again. Free safety, Clinton Dix, the man to make the play there on the defensive side.
Well, I'm going to resist laughing just because his name is Ha-Ha. But Ha-Ha Clinton Dix, Excellent coverage there. Man coverage knocked that one away.
Real name Hashan. He's from down in your neck of the woods in Orlando.
Yeah, went to Dr. Phillips High School and then matriculated at the University of Alabama and played at a super high level at both places and is doing the exact same thing now in the NFL.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on third. So on fourth down, the Lions turn it over to Matt Prater for the field goal try. From the left hash mark, this a 43-yard attempt. And Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. And that will bump up the lead again to 12-0. The bottom line, tremendous starting field position, really squandered there as they wind up going backwards and then come up with just 3.
Well, getting the 3 turned out to be important. I can imagine the head coach when he ordered the field goal. Please salvage something out of this drive. That was not fun to watch.
Aaron Rodgers, he's getting ready to go again here on offense. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown 1 interception. He wants to balance that off with at least 1 touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on 1st down. They'll roll him out right. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Davante Adams as the first half is winding down. And the Packers have cut it back within a score. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take it to the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed, and a lot of football. Full half to be played. Extra point up and good by Crosby, and that will get him 1 closer. Crosby on now to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Back out for another drive comes LeGarrette Blount. It's the second quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going, but we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series. So those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing and see if they can find a better way to run it.
So they search for that patience here now. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards. Blount with the potential to be a real asset in this remade Lion backfield as they come up on 1st and 10. So we've reached halftime here in Detroit with the Lions out on top. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thank you very much. More from you two in just a bit. But first, let's get everybody caught up with what's going on around the NFL here in Week 5. We'll start up at New Era Field just outside of Buffalo. And they are seconds away from halftime, all tied in that one. From there, it's off to North Carolina to check on the Panthers at home in Charlotte. And in that one, it's the visiting Giants who have the lead. Sterling Shepard, a touchdown reception. Lastly, let's get to Pittsburgh. Check on the Steelers at home at Heinz Field. And that one all tied as they host the visiting Falcons. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3.